a coder. Coffee stains and chains, I am such a loner. San Francisco bases got me slowly taking over. I can't wait to show you that I'm gonna take it over. Lico, beast mode, 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 Lico, beast mode. This is not a main thing, really I'm a coder. Coffee stains and chains, I am such a loner. San Francisco bases got me slowly taking over. I can't wait to show you that I'm gonna take it over. Lico, beast mode, 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 Lico, beast mode.
What's up, everyone? Lico, beast mode, Lico, beast mode. Hope everyone's having a great weekend. We're gonna do some Codeforces grinding because there's a contest coming up in a week, and we just gotta make sure we're ready. What up? How you doing, man? I'm just shipping some features. Oh, there's a contest today? I didn't do the contest at all. I've been shipping features on jamesperalta.com. That's been my main thing, but we're getting back into this now. Let me make sure. Yo, appreciate you, man. Legend. Thanks for the money. 5 gifted. Let's go. Appreciate you. How you been? How did I log into my Codeforces? What is... You recently failed your Capital One assessment. What did they ask you? Man, we gotta hop on a call soon and just talk about it. I want to see where you're at. We should do a mock interview. See where you're at, and I can give you advice. What did they ask you? Yeah, of course it's free. But I don't do them too often. I only do it for people who have an interview coming up, or they're active in the chat, and they so I know a lot about what they're going through, and then we hop on, and then we fix up whatever needs to get fixed for whatever they got going on. How to? Yo, chat, try asking questions in the AMA so I could see if it works correctly. Try asking questions in the AMA, because whenever people ask questions, it gets lost in the chat. And I can't answer questions the whole time because a lot of times I'm answering questions or I'm doing Codeforces. So I would like if people ask in the AMA, and I could just have all the questions here, and then people can vote on which questions should improve, or which questions I should get to. So click the Q&A link at the top and somebody ask a question. Let's see if it works. Somebody asked that how to Amazon away thing. Longest find the longest prefix between two. How are you with tries and stuff? Hold on. Need to put some eye drops just to get set up. Yeah, tries are easier the more you test in the AMA. Nice. Sick. Loud this time. Alright, thanks man. Let's see. How do I change my microphone? Nice. Alright, cool. Alright, that's testing, testing. Testing this. Alright. Sick. Alright, it's working properly. Alright, so now people could ask questions while I do other stuff. And then I'll get to it when I get to it. Oh, have you worked through... I have a section on tries and I have a practice question in there. Have you seen this yet? So these are my notes on tries. This is pretty much how I implement tries. Super Bowl was fun. Real fun. But yeah, check out these tries. So I've been shipping a lot of features on jamesperalta.com. So now I pretty much have all my notes on DSA up here. System design notes, if you have to do system design. I put up all my system design notes. These are my notes that I created when I was studying for FANG interviews. And then now you could do practice questions as well, like right on the site. And then I also have profiles now, so everyone has their own profile. And I'm gonna build that feature out more. But more things coming. We're gonna make this a fun site. We're gonna focus on learning, and yeah, hopefully, I want to connect the job board as well, and just connect people to jobs as well through the site, like the people who use it. I'll try to connect them to jobs through the site. That's my goal, probably sometime in March. But all right, let me know also if you have any feature requests. You just go feedback and then you just put ideas and just give me your feature request. But this thing is gonna get built out fully soon. I have to speed this up a little bit, but I need to study top-down DP, bro. Can't lie. What's up? What's up? Blood. What up? All right. We got a few questions. Is your notes enough to have an idea? So the person said, is your notes enough to have an idea regarding the DSA theory and then solve questions? Yeah, I would say my notes on jamesperalta.com definitely covers that because I structured it the way that I would learn. DSA, why is it so slow? Damn, I need to fix that. So I kind of structured this the way that I structured how I would study, which is going topic by topic. So data structures. So going learning the core data structures, working topic by topic, understanding the theory, and you could even go ahead and try to implement some of these from scratch yourself, like implement a stack from scratch, implement a tree from scratch, right? So I would go topic by topic and I'll start with data structures, then move on to some patterns. And then yeah, I would just mix this up. Learn the theory, spend some time learning the theory, but then also spend some time doing practice questions. So I also have the Peralta 75 questions. You could go on like Need Code or whatever, Lead Code, and just do blind 75. Do practice questions as well. Don't just spend your time studying theory, but definitely take some time out of your day to study some theory. And when you're studying theory, go topic by topic. That's how I do it. That makes sense so far? So for the site, how did you go about building it? Was a mix of AI and coding? Honestly, it's a lot of like using AI. Even in my job, I use a lot of AI to code, but I spend a lot of time on the planning phase. So on the I go on plan mode when I'm using Claude Code or even Cursor. I use plan mode and I pretty much plan out exactly what I'm going to do. And then I get AI to execute it, then I'll review it and iterate from there. But a lot of my workflows are very AI driven. Even at work, I'm pumping out a lot of code using AI. Rarely do I just actually just code by hand, you know what I mean? These days, honestly, it changed a lot in since even the start of the year. And I could do resume reviews. You could probably drop your resume in the ask me in the AMA link, but have it anonymized and just have like a link to somewhere where I could view it, and then I could take a look at it if it gets in there. But we're gonna focus on Codeforces today. What's up? We're gonna focus on Codeforces. Let's start easy and then go from there. Let's start at around 900 and then get up to like 1,000 or and start. We'll try to live at the 1,100 area. Man, it's been a while. All right, my first 900 question right here. I've been using Claude Code. Claude Code is pretty fun to use. I enjoy it. But it is very expensive. And you'll run out of tokens really fast. That's the main thing with it. Buddhist, what's up? Congratulations on getting tonight. That's a big accomplishment. Yo, what's up, man? Appreciate you. Buddhist in the building. How was the contest on Valentine's Day? Yeah, I'm gonna lock back in. I've been building out a lot of features on jamesperalta.com, but I think I have the core built out now. Invited to the Google I/O 17th to 21st. Ah, yo, I would go there. I wish I was here, but I'm in Europe. Otherwise, I would come say what's up. What's the Google I/O? It's like the contest? It is a mugshot. Man, Padish is a legend. I gotta try it out. There's a Codeforces contest coming up on February 27th, so I'm hyper focused on that. I need to make sure I destroy that contest. Because if I do really good, then I get to pupil level on Codeforces. 1904A. All right, let's grind. Ah, you're so close. I move this on this side actually. Man, you're so close to 2,000 with these. You're gonna get it soon. Dude, that's crazy. How'd you get in there? What's the process to getting into something like that? Yeah, I'm following a sheet on TLE eliminators. Why you store all? Can you revisit all those? Why do I store all them in my on my Codeforces here? Or sorry, on my on locally because I have to write. I don't know. I just wanted version control too, so I could eventually look at it and I don't have to scrape it. I like to have my data control my own data as well. So if I need to like do something with it, easy access just in my repo. All right, let's work through this. Lunchbox is done with playing chess. I did summer code and I'm organizer here at GDG NYC and East Region Prep. So I got it. I don't think there's any invite form. Just let me ask. Yeah, let me know. I want to. Is it mostly for students? I want to get into one of those contests. Although I'll be trash at it. Blood, what's your Codeforces rating? Lunchbox is done with playing chess. His queen and queen just got forked again. In chess, a fork is when a knight attacks two pieces of higher value, commonly the king and the queen. Lunchbox knows that the knight can be tricky, and in this version of chess that he is playing, knights are even trickier. Instead of moving one tile in one direction and two tiles in another, knights in Lunchbox modified game move A tiles in one direction and B tiles in the other. Move myself. Lunchbox is playing an infinite chessboard which contains all cells x and y, where x and y are positive, possibly negative integers. Lunchbox, king, and queen are placed on cells. Okay. Find the number of positions such that the knight has placed on that cell, such that if a knight was placed on that cell, it would attack both the king and queen. Okay. Sounds interesting. All right. So we place a king and queen, and we have. Let me know if the text is too small, but. And we have to fork them. I kind of need to. King, queen. Because a fork is like this. King. So it could pretty much fork in any of these directions. Oh, yeah, because it can fork this way. So the king has to be here. You can fork this way. So king here. Can fork. Yeah, I'm gonna do today's weekly contest. Fork this way. Fork this way. Fork this way. Fork this way. No, for each way it can go twice. So it could fork this way if it moves left, or down this way. It could fork. That's one way if it moves left. One. If it moves up one, it could essentially go like this. If it goes to the right once, it could go like this. So it essentially could only end up on these locations. So the problem is saying the lunchbox king and queen are placed on cells respectively. Find a number of positions such that the knight. No, okay, this is different. We have to think about it. We have to think about it in reverse. So we need to think about it. You place the king and queen. What's different ways you could attack it? You could attack it from here. You could attack it from here. I think there's only two locations maximum. You could draw a line here, and then you could figure out if I could attack it here or if it could attack it here. So you need to just find the distance between these two and then place it one or two. It's possible. Wait, let's see. I was just watching Queen's Gambit. I should know this. Okay. Interesting. It's just that if it's like some geometry. Both the king and queen. Okay, what does the input look like? And you could just check the different locations that we could attack the king and then see if it also attacks the queen. So we can perform this. So from the king, we could figure out all the different places that we can place the knight to get the king attacked. And then we also just check if we can attack the queen at the same time. I think that's the brute force. But there's only 6 options. So what we do is say we're given a king. Dude, this is a low elo. This is like 1900. Goodies. 900 only. This is like entry level. So we start with the king, and then all we'll do is figure out all of the different forks that we can attack this king on. So we can go like this, right? So the max here is 2, 4, 6, 8. The max is 8 positions, right? But then we for each one that we just check, can it attack the queen if we place it at this position? How do we check if it could attack the queen? When could it attack the queen? Okay, let's look at the calculations. Yeah, we pretty much have 8 options. And then for each one, we could check 8 times. So it leads to 64. 64 checks. Yeah. So I think we'll just need to write a algorithm for checking positions. So iterate positions. So this is okay. We're gonna have a function called iterate positions where you're gonna give your current row and column. Because this could be on a negative grid. Okay, this is the infinite. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna be given A and B. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna check all these positions. So we're gonna move one tile up. Um, Attacks for what we're gonna do is so for the first attack, oh shoot. For the first attack, we're gonna go A up and B and column. Because we're on our Cartesian plate. Row minus A and then column plus B. And then we'll do column minus B. So that will get these two positions. We can even just hard code these. Because it's only 8. What's the next one? We go keep the same row, but we do or keep the same column. Yeah. We can either go this is A, B, B. So this is going to go up by B, but we're going to stay in the same row. Wait, how's this going to work? No, we're going to have to... Oh, this is interesting. Because if a knight can only go A and then B, how many directions is it going to go in the column? Oh, we're going to have to reverse these rules. Plus B column minus A. Yeah, because we're gonna want to go. Wait. Let's use concrete examples. We have K. Originally, you can have the knight go up 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, where these are A and B. Or you can have it go 1, 2. 1, 2. Do you think should bring a dark mode? I have dark mode, but I use an extension for Codeforces. Oops. This is going up the row B, but this is changing the column. So column plus A. Yeah, this is column plus A, column plus A. But then you go row plus B, row minus B, and row plus B. That's interesting right there. And then for here, we're gonna do 1, 1. What am I doing this for? Just for fun. I'm trying to get to expert level. I'm trying to grind up to. They say it takes like a decade to get to grandmaster. We'll see. But I don't spend all my time doing this just for fun. Just weekends whenever I'm bored. Bro. Column minus B. Row plus A. Yeah, I think this is good. So we have row minus A. This is go up and attack. Or attack forward. I need to keep my problem solving skills sharp. I'll give Lico contest tonight. Yeah. Damn, they got hacked? That's crazy. So attack forward. So you'll go row minus A. That makes sense. Then we go plus and minus on the B. For attacking right, we go column plus A. So it moves to right. But then you can go row minus B. Yeah. For attacking down, we have row plus A. Then we have column plus minus B. Attacking left, we go column minus. Yeah, this should be A. So now we're iterating through the positions. Let's just copy and paste like how I grab my inputs. So what's the input? The input, the first is the number of test cases. That makes sense. Then what's next? The first line of each is A and B. Okay. Second input. Let's put this again. And then we do the same thing for third. One, two, three. Okay. Then now we take first, second, and third. So X and Y, we have we do A and B equals first 0, first 1. Need to eat some breakfast. The first line is each A and B. The second line contains two integers, X and Y. So this is X. So we'll say this is KX, KY, because this is the king. And this is Queen X, Queen Y. And then now what we're going to do is result equals 0, print result. What we're going to do is for Pat, what's up, man? How you doing? Patrick, it's been a minute. We need to get you back on the stream. How's life? Or Pat, this is kind of an interesting one. It's a chess one. Here, I'll explain it to you. It's kind of It's a kind of interesting question. So, obviously, you know what a fork is. It's when a knight attacks two pieces of higher value. So Lunchbox knows. So let's read through the question. In chess, a fork is a knight that attacks two pieces, or a fork is when a knight attacks two pieces of higher value, commonly the king and queen. Lunchbox knows that knights can be tricky, and in this version of chess that he is playing, knights are even trickier. So instead of moving one tile in one direction and two tiles in another, the knight in Lunchbox modified game can move A tiles and in one direction and B tiles in any other direction. So it's not just like 1 and 2, 1 and 2. It could be any. They'll choose a A and then they'll choose a B, right? So and then also the other interesting part is the chessboard is infinite. So what they do is they're in this infinite board, they're gonna place a king and queen in two different areas, and then you need to find the number of forks. Alpha, what's up, man? We just need to figure out the number of forks that we can place our knight to fork the king and queen. Alpha, Alpha in the building. Alpha in the building. Mods in the building. Alpha, this one is kind of interesting. But I'm gonna iterate through the king and queen. So my solution is you're gonna have a king here, right? So you just need to figure out where I can place the knight relative to where the king is, and then you need to see if I place my knight here, can I fork a queen? So I just need to check for each position. I'll place my knight in any place that could attack the king. And then if it could attack the king, I'll also check if it's also attacking the queen, and I'll add that up. That makes sense, that solution? Yo, Alpha, what's your plan for today? Are you doing mocks? Damn. Nice. Dude, that's gonna be sick. Why you gotta cut down on the mocks? Oh, you're getting burnt out? Holy crap. Yeah, don't burn yourself out. Yeah, that's where I got to as well. But just shoot a bunch so you could just spread them out over the long term. Yeah, you're trying to pump out some other stuff too. Makes sense. But people like your mocks. They're doing good. I don't know, man. I would ride the wave just for a little bit too, but why am I getting 2, 4, and 8? So I'm looping through all of the positions that I could attack X and Y, or I could attack the king. This, and then this is this. That's These are gonna give me X, Y coordinates. And from there, from the X and Y, I'm figuring out where I can attack the queen. Does it double count? It's double counting. What? Tuple objects. Oh. Yeah, that's my solution so far, Alpha. So that's what this iterate position is. So I'm starting off at the king. Yeah, I'm starting off at the king and I'm iterating the positions. But then there's duplicate. Oh, so should I only do patterns based? Yeah, honestly. Dude, they just ask the same questions over and over at those big tech companies. Perfect. Ask it in the Q&A and I'll ask it in the Q&A linked and then I'll get to it as soon as I submit this question and it works. Because questions get asked while I'm in the middle of a question and then I can't really answer it the way I would like to. Yeah, I've seen that before. I haven't got to it yet. Alpha, I'm gonna try out all the platforms. You should do too, like @coder, CSES, like all these ones. You should try them out. Make videos on them too. I'll do the same thing. These are sick. Let's just get legendary. Which questions did you do? I took a look at them, but I didn't really get the chance. Maybe I'll do the dynamic programming ones and mathematics just to practice. This is sick. Yeah, I'll try these out. Accepted. Let's go. Let's see what the actual solution was. Pretty easy question, but took a sec to just actually figure out what to do there. Let's see what the Okay, yeah. Find all 8 positions that attack the king, and then the 8 positions that attack the queen, and count the number of positions. Man, why is there duplicates? How does that work? Because the queen could only be in one spot. Why do I have to turn it into a set? I'm not quite understanding that right now. It's not making sense to me. Alpha, could you tell? Why we need to track duplicates. So we have a king. We can go this, this, this. One, one, two, two. We go one, two. So pretend these are x and y. One, two, one, two. When could we get it? When could we hit it twice? Let me ask ChatGPT. Oh, let's think about it for a sec. Maybe it's the way I implemented it. Okay, let me walk through my code. How good is chat? Honestly, it's pretty good, but it breaks down pretty fast. It gives suboptimal answers a lot of the times when you are working through the harder questions. Like when I do contests, so questions it's never seen before, it's so trash. It gives some pretty bad advice. So when I'm doing like Advent of Code or I'm doing Codeforces Div 2 contest, it flops. Which is pretty interesting. Yeah, I'll probably join him. Okay, well, let's walk through my code. How smart are these people? They're really smart. They're probably Codeforces Grandmasters and up. And apparently it's harder to become, I was chat GPTing this yesterday. It's harder to become a Codeforces Grandmaster than it is to become a chess Grandmaster. That's what it just said online. I was doing some research because I was watching some I was watching Queen's Gambit, so I was like, oh, how hard is it to actually become a chess grandmaster? Apparently, Codeforces Grandmaster is harder to get. Kudish has a higher rating than me, so probably him. From watching him though, I think we're literally almost at the same level. There's some questions I can get and some questions that he can get, but we solve pretty much the same amount of questions per contest. So I would say we're probably around the same level. Man, chess is all about pattern recognition. You played it way too much. I don't want to practice on chess. Okay, let me look at so we have the king X and queen Y. Okay, let me debug this. Or let's look at their code. Did I play him or you played him? Yeah, that's when we were addicted to chess. Chess is fun, but we should play with a timer. The games get way too long. Make a chess bot, make the script run. I'm down. Let's see who has the better chess bot. Help me out with this code. Or we should have a contest where you have to write the chess bot within 1 hour, and then we have a competition to see whose chess bot wins. Let me code this. Why am I having to use a set? Here, fork, clean by starting. Holy, I can't spell. Word type. By starting at positions that can attack the king and seeing if it hits the queen. Piyush, what's up? Oh, if A equals B, okay, if A equals B, it could be identical. So if I have a XY, A equals B, A equals B, then yeah, then it could double count. Now, what is this guy doing? Turn this into some Python. I see. Yeah, we could probably just break out here. Position in ST1. Yeah, whatever. We figured it out. It's more about just cleaning it up. Alright, see if there's any questions in the AMA. No questions in the AMA. If you're gonna ask questions, ask them in the AMA because it's easier for me to get to it. I'll lose it when it's in the chat. I know there's a few. Alpha, what kind of things are you planning to get into now? Move on to the next question. What other stuff do you want to cover on your channel? Caesar! What's the plan for today? Let's go. More questions. 1883B. One eight eight. Oh, what? I don't have a lot of. Bro, I'm telling you, I'm not receiving messages. Oh, what the heck? Oh, shit. Yeah, let's pull up to that and then maybe the gym. Yo, post Caesar, post that picture on Snap or something. The one that you sent. Looking jacked. Yeah, for sure. We'll hit that thing later. Apparently, so F1 is pulling up to, let's look. F1 is in SF. They're going to be racing. Red Bull Showrun, San Francisco, 1 p.m. Apparently, people are coming early though. So the fan zone opens at 11:30 and it just keeps running for a while. Caesar, am I getting text on the group chat or no? Like with those other guys? Okay, good. I just need to go on my data. Are SWE internships sort of competition between interns to see who can perform best to return offer? Not really. You're the only person that you need to perform for is your manager. By the end of it, your manager needs to usually people who get a return offer, they get return offer for the same team that they joined. So it's usually just a competition with you and yourself. Can you prove yourself? Can you prove yourself to the manager? Will the manager does the manager see themselves working with you, hiring you, you being a junior engineer on the team? That's pretty much it. Hope you got some good questions in. All right. Okay, let's check this out. Fave drink at the bar. Man, I literally drink everything. These days I'm drinking a lot of skinny margs because I'm cutting weight. So I drink a lot of skinny margs. Anything with not that much calories. I like Maker's Mark on the rocks, so just straight whiskey, um, Hennessy, tequila if it's a good tequila. Dude, I drink a lot of things. But I'm not really a cocktail person or a beer person. I just rather just take the shot to the dome. Reflect on your Codeforces switch. Yeah, I would say I think Codeforces I'm having more fun doing Codeforces and I feel like I'm learning more doing Codeforces than I did when learning lead code. Or maybe well, just because I did lead code for so many years, so all the questions and the way of thinking started getting repetitive. But now when I switched over to Codeforces, the questions are very different than what I'm used to. So it's more interesting for me. Personally, I have to use more patterns. Like you just saw that chess one. There's nothing like that on LeetCode. Maybe N queens or something, but it's more backtracking. So I don't know. I like the logic puzzles a little bit more. So honestly, I enjoyed working on all platforms. I'm gonna be doing LeetCode. I'm gonna be doing Codeforces. I'm gonna be doing yeah, pretty much all that. Internship tips on day 130, etc. Yeah, honestly, ask a lot of questions, but don't just depend on try to have some autonomy as well. So if you could ask 1,000 questions, but also spend the time trying to figure out for yourself too. Asking questions is like looking at the solution. You just get the solution, but then you don't understand the way to get to that solution. So take some time to figure out, like try to get to a solution. And if you can't get there, ask. So it should be a balance, but don't spend all day on something that you're going to get stuck on. Try to look at it and try to see if you can figure out how to get to the solution. If you can't do it, ask somebody. And then that will help you understand the thought process to getting to the right solutions. It'll help you figure out how the more senior engineers are thinking through the problems. So yeah, always when you come to a meeting, always have opinions on how you would do it yourself, so that when people give their opinion or people tell you how to do it, you at least thought about it for a little bit. So that's kind of my advice. I would say the best interns that I've ever had were definitely they were prepared, as in maybe before their internship they prepared the common languages so they knew they didn't need to ramp up too hard on the tech stack, so they're prepared in that sense. And then they were autonomous. They'll ask questions as well, but their questions as the weeks go on, their questions get more and more targeted and their questions become more and more thoughtful instead of just asking general questions. And yeah, they try to think of solutions and have their opinions on how things should work. Yeah, but what I would say is just be curious as well. Ask a lot of questions, even if you know the answer. Sometimes you might not. Um, and yeah, just show a lot of initiative. That's my advice for internship. That makes sense. Apartment hunting tips, dude. I haven't apartment hunted in a long time, but figure out your budget. The way that I did apartment hunting, Josh, is I started off with first off at, trying to apartment hunt in a city like SF or New York. you're never going to get everything you want for the right price. So my main thing was I just figured out my essentials. So I needed to be modern, I needed a good location, I needed, yeah, like a good, like more modern, renovated, etc. Good location. But some things that I didn't care about really was in unit, washer and dryer, and I didn't care too much about the space of how big it's gonna be. More that I'd rather have a modern spot than one that's a big spot but old. So there's different thing. You should just figure out the baseline of what not of things that you definitely want in your apartment, and then also figure out the price. And then the moment that you find an apartment that hits the price and all of your essentials, then you should throw in an application. But if you try to hit everything, especially in a market like SF, you're gonna have to spend a lot of money. And if you could afford it, cool. But if you can't, then you gotta make trade-offs. Let me know if that makes sense. Yeah, honestly, doing submissions on Codeforces is pretty annoying, but the questions are still better. And there's plugins and there's things that you can automate in order to find better, make it more user friendly. And people recommend it to me all the time. I just didn't get the chance to set it up. But honestly, it hasn't really been a problem for me. At the end of the day, even when you're working at a job, it's going to be hard to debug certain things. So you just got to find interesting ways to debug it. So I just look at it that way when I'm working with Codeforces. Not everything is going to be easy handed to you on a platter. These are the test cases you got wrong and why. You got to figure it out. Yeah. I agree with you 100%. All right, let's do more questions. Chemistry. What car do I have? I own a Mazda 3 2018. I just finished paying it off. I'm not a I'm not a big spender. Honestly, a lot of times I really was itching to go buy a Mercedes or some crazy car. But then, dude, even my Mazda 3, it cost me about insurance is $200 to $300 a month if you're making car payments and stuff like that. Cars can easily, if you buy a luxury car, it's easily gonna cost you over $1,000 a month just to keep up and maintain it. It's like, do I want to spend $1,000 on a month on a car? I don't know. I have so much other things I enjoy that I could use that money for. $12,000, I can hit Europe every single year. And my Mazda 3 is so reliable. I might ride this thing until the wheels fall off. Hold on, I'm gonna make a protein shake. Be right back. Could you ask some more juicy questions like that in the AMA and I'll get to it? Just drinking my protein. This is my breakfast. Yo, Chad, I cut down from around 185 to 165. It's crazy. I'm gonna drop 10 more pounds. I even hit 190 honestly at some point. Crazy. The office food was way too good. I was eating very unhealthy. Let me finish up my protein, then we're gonna get into this chemistry one. So you're given a string S of length n consisting of Latin characters and an integer k. Chat, y'all read through this and let me know what you think. I'll send this over. But we're gonna stream later tonight too. I'm gonna have some special guests on there. Imagine stream after one fully jacked in 2000. 1 year fully jacked. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to get to. Trying to get all my ratings up and just get jacked and get a promotion. Just maxing all those stats, bro. That's my main goal. Yeah, drop it in the AMA. I'm gonna build out a feature where you can drop anonymized resumes. Maybe we can pump that out in Cloud Code right now, real quick, on the side. Chat, who uses Cloud Code? I love Cloud Code. Um, all right, 1, 2, 3, resume review feature. My website similar to the AMA. Drop their resume and you also auth required. You also need to tell need to remind the user to anonymize it before submitting, and that the resume will show up on screen or videos if they post it in there. Plan mode. Cloud Code is amazing but very expensive. We'll let that cook on the side. We can do multiple things. We can ship features for the website and Codeforces at the exact same time. So people are always saying, yo, how should I do work on projects or leak code? I'll show you how to do it at the same time. Yeah, drop it in the AMA though. Make sure it's anonymized. Could you ask that in the Q&A so that I have it there? Ask it in the link. Because these are good questions and I want it in my, not just lost in the chat. I want that. I want to be able to track the questions that people are asking as well, so I know over time what people are asking and if people are repeating questions. You're given a string S consisting of lowercase Latin letters and an integer k. You need to check if it's possible to remove exactly k characters from the string S in such a way that the remaining characters can be rearranged to form a palindrome. Exactly k characters from the string S such a way that the remaining... Okay. Oh, these are easy. I've done so much of these Codeforces or so much of these palindrome questions already. Okay, I'll answer this question now real quick. All right. Hello, I am new to the channel. I have a question. I know the basic fundamentals of DSA. Should I go ahead and start Codeforces or continue doing leak code? Your goal is you want to crack FANG interviews. So my first question to you would be, are you able to land interviews or no? I'm building out jamesperalta.com. So jamesperalta.com has a bunch of, you could learn a bunch of topics between DSA, system design, job hunt, blog. I pretty much uploaded everything I know about DSA, system design, these topics. You could go in, read my notes. Everything here is free. All you need to do is sign in so I don't get scraped. But yeah, some of the interesting ones is I have all my templates uploaded. And then also within each of these topics, you can do practice questions in Python. I'm going to add support for more languages later. But yeah, you can run test cases. Every user has a profile now. So building out the website, it's coming together. But my main thing is I just want to upload everything that I know about it, about system design DSA, and also job hunting. And I also have my blog post here. So you could just peruse, drive around, or check out the different content and see what you think. All right, let me answer this question. So if this person knows the basic DSA fundamentals, should they go ahead and start Codeforces or continue with leak code? I would say if you want to crack FAG interviews, doing leak code is good enough because a lot of the questions that they'll ask in leak code are very specific to what companies ask. LeetCode is a platform for getting a job. So they ask very common interview questions. So the questions are super focused. If you do LeetCode, there's a good chance you're gonna see that same problem when you do interviews. I would say LeetCode is a good platform, but if you want to be the best problem solver that you can be, I would mix it up. I would do Codeforces and LeetCode as well, because Codeforces ask questions that are different than what LeetCode will ever ask. Because LeetCode is mainly interview focused. So what I do is I do LeetCode. What I would do is spend time doing LeetCode to get a for the immediate need of cracking Fang, but I would also work do Codeforces to improve my problem solving skills in general, because Codeforces problem solving skills I think applies outside of coding interviews as well, and it's more competitive program focused. So I think short term LeetCode, long term Codeforces, or work on multiple platforms. But if you just want to crack Fang, I cracked Fang by just straight up doing LeetCode. I only started doing Codeforces recently, so I would say doing LeetCode is enough. All right, let's take a look at this resume. Is it difficult to switch to Python? It's not difficult to switch to Python at all. Python is very easy language to work with. It's almost like reading English. All right, so let's see. So this person is graduating May 2026 and looking for full-time new grad roles, applying to 20 to 30 companies but not hearing back. Grinding LeetCode in the meantime, just to take my mind off of rejections. Okay, so not hearing back, so still doing LeetCode, which is good because you're staying sharp. You should be ready to do LeetCode at any point, at any moment, especially if you're not getting interviews. Because if you're not getting interviews, you're eventually gonna get one interview, and then you're gonna need to make sure to actually land that job once you get it. All right, pretty good GPA 4.0. At the start, you have your name and your links, which is good. I'm more just gonna look over your format. Let me pop this up. This is better. There's a lot of text in here. It's a pretty big resume. So, software engineer intern developed a centralized automated progress tracker for 10,000 custom client reports, report projects, reducing manual oversight. Implemented full stack features, including client and admin dashboards using C Sharp, .NET. Okay. Design and optimize APIs and database schemas, validating endpoints via Swagger UI and Postman for real time reporting. Containerized the application with Docker and integrated with CI/CD pipeline for standalone deployment. Streamlined project tracking for cross-functional stakeholders to improve on-time delivery. Collaborated with yeah, I like your bullet points. They're pretty good so far. They you could add some metrics to some of those first bullet points. The first one is the only one that you pretty much have metrics on. So maybe talk about the business impact that you drove. But overall, I think it's good. You are covering a bunch of technologies that are interesting and that are useful. I would give it probably a 6 out of 10. If you showed more business impact and more complexity here as well. You could get it up higher, but I think it's 6 out of 10 so far. Develop services using Java, Spring Boot, and Hibernate with transaction management, ORM, and business logic for, okay. Optimize complex SQL queries and database indexes in MySQL, improving, okay. That's pretty good. But here, when you improved the query performance, how much did you improve it by? How fast is that query now? You could say increase the performance of a query by, it used to be 300 milliseconds, now it's 50 milliseconds, right? So you should add metrics like that for a lot of your bullet points. Design and implemented RESTful APIs. So how many people use these RESTful APIs? How much traffic did it handle after? So I think you could improve these bullet points by introducing scale. Talk about the scale that you're handling. How much traffic are you taking through these RESTful APIs? How much latency did you reduce by optimizing the query performance? How much test coverage did you add? You know what I mean? Stuff like that. Overall, I think you have good experience. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they'll ask you how did you measure those metrics, and then tell them how you measured it. Like I used Datadog, or I looked at the logs, or better case, yeah, I set up the correct dashboards during feature development. Before I went live, I set up the correct dashboards so I had observability into the usage, not just for measuring impact, but also measuring errors and on call. And then when I launched, that's how I was able to observe these, and that's how I captured my data. So it really shows that end to end, you're thinking about how to build the feature, but then after, how you're gonna observe the feature in production, and extract out the impact, and extract out and see when errors occur and stuff like that. It really shows end to end thinking. That makes sense? And honestly, if you didn't measure these, it's okay. Just just make up some stuff right now. Look up the best way to measure it and really understand observability and measurement. And when they ask you, show that say what you learned in the interview. But then when you start working a job again, when you actually land an internship, put those into practice. Every feature that you build, you should have observability. You should know the usage. You should be able to figure out the impact. You could get AI to do that for you these days too. That makes sense? Cyclops, what's up? 4 to 6 bullet points. It's fine. I think it's your resume is fine right now. Maybe 4 to 6 is a lot. I would say 3 to 5, and just have the most important information in there and have it results oriented. Talk about the scale, talk about the impact. Then you should be good. But yeah. All right. Thanks so much someone said, thanks so much for your response. I appreciate it. I don't want to disturb you while doing Codeforces live now. I live in India, and questions for OA are quite challenging and often involve a mix of 2 or 3 topics or similar to Codeforces level. That's why I had that question to either continue doing LeetCode or Codeforces. Yeah, if you, man, just keep grinding, I would say I would work on both platforms. I spent most of my time doing Codeforces questions, and it's been increasing my lead code rating even without me doing any lead code at all. So I think, but the reverse isn't true. You can't really do lead code and then your Codeforces rating. It will go up, but not at the same increments, I don't think. But Codeforces, you get to expert on Codeforces, you're definitely gonna be 2,000 elo on lead code. I swear. Are you working on AI projects? Yeah, I'm working on AI projects at work, dude, and personally. You asked that in my AMA so I could see it and review it from there, and then I have all like the answered questions here. I want to be able to track all the answered questions and be able to look over it eventually, and also aggregate, figure, and get the data on what people are asking. So ask it here and let me know when it's up. I'll grab some water. Everyone ask a few questions and we'll just get to it. All right, let's see what people are asking. Let's see, load it up. You think it's possible to start grinding for internship now? If so, what would be the highest ROI? The highest ROI language is probably Python. Python is you could use it for any DSA interview. Saw I've done all my interviews using Python, so never had trouble with it. Also, all of the machine learning AI companies use Python a lot in their tech stack. So understanding it is, I mean, you need it. A lot of these AI libraries are written in Python. So yeah, I would say definitely no Python. Another good high ROI is definitely React and JavaScript still, because all these companies at the end of the day, they need to build an app, they need to build a web app, something for people to use to interact with their whatever infrastructure or backend or API or whatever they're building. They need to put it up on the web for everyone on the internet to use. So understanding how to build web apps using React and common libraries like that is highest ROI. Honestly, you can make knowing React has gotten me all of my jobs ever. What should be the Codeforces strategy coming from leak code? Well, when you do leak code, you understand a lot of the fundamentals. So I would say start with Div 4 and Div 3 questions. And yeah, you'll get really far in Codeforces Div 3 and Div 4 questions by just knowing the basics of leak code. But definitely a lot of the Codeforces questions, they're not the same as leak code. So you just start doing contests. What I did is just start doing Div 3 and Div 4 contests and then slowly ramp that up from there. What I would say is coming from leak code, you have a solid foundation. I have a solid foundation come from leak code, and Code Forces was not a terrible transition. It was honestly a pretty easy one, and yeah, learned a lot. Cyclops, how did your interview with B&B go? So I'm currently doing an on-site internship, and it's so hard to manage leak code core forces. And I became a pupil today after Div 2 contests. Can you After a lot of contests, finally I was able to, but I am still not getting interview calls. Can you please help me? How should I continue this and keep the spirit high? Man, getting interviews is all about your resume and how you position yourself in the market. The market is very competitive right now. Lots of people competing for the same jobs. So you need to figure out how to position yourself in the market so that you're the top candidate. And that could be in multiple ways. It's like positioning yourself in any competitive market. You want to see the market and you want to understand how the market is going, who's getting hired, who's not getting hired. And then you need to find a wedge in that market somehow, some way by providing your unique skill set and just grinding. Honestly, it's very competitive right now, so you need to come up with ways. Do you really think that just doing code forces and leak code is gonna get you an interview? Probably not. Will it get you a job once you get the interview? Probably yeah. But just being good at code forces and leak code, not many companies actually really care about that. That's pretty niche. All right, done for questions. Keep throwing them in. We'll get them. We'll get to them later. But yo, they're doing Red Bull, Red Bull at 110. They're doing F1. Dude, I'm excited. I'm gonna go check out the F1 cars. Are a lot of people competing for it, Cyclops? That's why. Okay, we're gonna grind through these questions. Probably spend another 30, 45 minutes grinding through these questions, and I'm gonna stream later actually after the leak code contest, and we'll see how we performed. Dude, it's cold out in SF right now. It's cold in my apartment. Why won't you hear back towards the end of the month? Oh, okay, into like 7 days then. Man, I hated waiting for a response. I was always on edge. After I did an on-site, after I did an interview, I'm just waiting to hear back to see the results. Man, I'd be checking my phone like every dude. Those were tough. And then yeah, those were tough, man. I'll try that out. I'm just doing easy ones for now because I need to get back into it. Why is my water bottle so tiny? Well, it has 375 milliliters. It's just compact. This guy calling it a baby bottle. Oh man, that's hilarious. I got it from Walgreens. Guy calling it a baby bottle. Uh, all right, chemistry. You're given a string S of length n consisting of characters of lowercase Latin letters and an integer k. You need to check if it's possible to remove exactly k characters from the string S such that the remaining characters can be rearranged to form a palindrome. Make So we have to make it even. So palindrome is all evens and all evens or all evens and an odd. So I just need to make sure I can get it all evens then odd. So suppose I had 2, 2, 2, 1, and I have to remove 3. This is interesting. Remove exact from strings such that the remaining characters can be rearranged to form palindrome. Note that you can reorder the elements in any way. So pretend I had a or I think we just need to look at it in terms of for each character how many the frequencies. So if we have like 6, 2, so I think get them all to even, then it's a palindrome. Then look at remainder. What is K? Yeah. Then pretty much figure out cost to get them all even. Cost to get them all even. Subtract that k minus cost to get them all even. Call this like equals like some r. If r is even, we're good. Yeah. If r is odd, we're say no. Yeah, I think we just need to count the frequencies for each one. Then we need to figure out the cost to get any of them even. So what would be the cost of deleting? This would turn 4. I I had got WA in test 3 for this one. How's my experience with the CEO? Uh, nothing really. Just talk to him, ask him a couple things. Mostly about his his roadmap for things on YouTube, and I don't know. Lots of people. I was with a few people and we were kind of all talking to him as a group, and low key I was buzzed, so I barely remember. But the YouTube event was sick. You just hop in, free drinks, free food, free merch. Everyone there is doing YouTube, so a lot of networking opportunities. And then we jumped on a bus, and then the bus took us to that YouTube Super Bowl game. So then you just meet like Speed, or was Speed there? No, Speed wasn't there. And, like Drewski and all those guys were there. N and K. Okay. N and K, the length of string S and the number of characters. The first line of each test case contains two integers, N and K. Okay. Second equals a string. Element second. If count elem mod 2 not equal to 0, odds equals 1, print then we'll do k equals int of k minus odds. If k is equal to, if k mod 2 is equal to 0, then yes. What's going on here? What is it doing? Okay, first case. Oh my god, what's going on? Why is it? 142. No. Two is no. Let's see. Why would two be no? Oh. Overcomplicating this. So we have It's just basic VS Code theme, like the default. So I do. So we're gonna have one A. We're gonna have one A, one odd. We're gonna have one. We're gonna get A equals one. We're gonna have one odd. If okay. So what we're gonna do is if okay, we need to turn all odds. What's up, man? If k equals to 0. If we just need if odds equals 1 or odds equals 0. I didn't do the div2 today. I only gave one div2 before. Yeah, this has edge cases. Max is 0 and the odds. Okay. Okay. Equals. So we take odds and we minus that many k's. We have 5 odds minus 2. Yeah, because if we get 5 minus 3, we get 2. But if we have 7, we have 2 left over. Then we do this. If k something like that. God. Where did I get it wrong? Yes, no. On the 4th. This should be no, but it should be yes. So this would do A1. Okay, 1 odd. How many questions are you usually able to do in Div 3? Yeah, probably like 4 or 5. Shit. God. Dude. Where are you getting... Where are you based again? Fuck. Pissing me off. Jersey? Bro, I'm going to New York in March. March 12th. You think... I hope I don't get hit by snow. You think it'll be good? Odds minus K. K left would be... K... What would be the K left? It would be... Yeah, I'll be there for a while. Cyclops, let me know if you want to come visit the office. I'll get you in. I'll be there for like a week. Go for lunch in NYC. Please, 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 please. Oh my god. What's going on here? Yeah, for sure. What's grub? Why does it say no? Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'll message you. I'll tell you. I'm gonna be there March 12th, but I'll probably be free around like March 15 onwards after work or during work. Let me know. I can get you into the office. We got free lunch and stuff too to come eat. 1, 2, 3, 1. No free lunches, man. Networking. No, only to the people. Alpha, if you came to SF, you're coming in for sure too. You could get in with me or Paul. Yeah, I'll message you. I wouldn't just like let anyone random in. But Cyclops, I know him for a while now. Been on the streams for a while. Bro, how am I gonna? Of course you can come in, dude. I'm trying to see the Apple office. You should just come so you could go to the Apple office yourself. I'm trying to see what's in there. Dude, San Diego's expensive as hell too. This should be yes. I need to break this question down. Yo, wait till I do my room tour. It's gonna be hilarious. Everyone's gonna be dying. Why is this guy living like that? Okay, we're gonna lock in and okay, let's think about this question from first principles real quick. And then we're gonna finish it off. Tens, what's up? Has been on for the best book guy locked in the bathroom or something for a month. That's how you lock in. He just locked himself in the bathroom and did what? What a grinder. How's the grind, man? I took some time off because I was working on my website, but I'm gonna get back into it now. All right. Okay, let's lock in. Let's lock in. Will you give tomorrow's weekly? Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna do the contest in about 6 hours, 100%. Yeah, I'm doing that. Literally removing the odd ones. So I start off with the odds. Then for K, I remove odds. Remove odds. So I remove the odds. Oh shit. So that, well, that's how I get here. And then I'll have K left. Yeah, you can have one K. This is an easy question, but I'm just fucking folding. I have K left. Um, so I could either remove. I just need to see. Once I have K left, all of them should be even then. So I think if K is greater than 0, if I remove, oh, okay. Then I guess if K is greater than 0, I could just return, if K is greater than 0, I just could print yes. Because it could be odd or even. Because with any K, if it's 1, we'll just have 1 because they're all even there at that point. Okay, wait. Let me think about this for a second. If K is greater than 0. So I remove all the odds. Oh, I think, do I literally just need to do this? Bro, I added some extra code for no reason. Give me a second. So I got a call. Dude, it's easy as that, huh? I was overthinking it. The extra case. This is an easy question too. That's how I know I need a break. I'm gonna go watch some F1. Hopefully this goes in. Go watch some F1. Hopefully it goes. They're doing a F1 Red Bull, but I'm gonna do the contest tonight, and we'll do a debrief at the end. Let's get it. All right, chat. Thanks for hopping in. We're gonna stream again tonight. Did a couple Codeforce questions. Answered a bunch of Q&A. So good. We're gonna do more of that again tonight. How to reach expert on CF? I'm not even expert though. Can't even answer that. That's hilarious. All right, we're gonna do the contest tonight. We're gonna debrief on it. Maybe we'll get some special guests, but let's get it. Thanks for tuning in. Catch y'all tonight at around 8:30 PST if you decide to tune in. Everyone try out the contest and we'll have some discussions about it afterwards. Catch y'all in the next stream.
This is not my main thing, really I'm a coder. Coffee stains and name chains, I am such a loner. San Francisco bases got me slowly taking over. I can't wait to show you that I'm gonna take it over. Lico, beast mode, 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 Lico, beast mode. This is not my main thing, really I'm a coder. Coffee stains and name chains, I am such a loner. San Francisco bases got me slowly taking over. I can't wait to show you that I'm gonna take it over. Lico, beast mode, Lico.